longtime radio broadcaster from Sioux Falls will be among the inductees entering the South Dakota Hall of Fame later this month. Dean Sorensen is considered the Dean of South Dakota Broadcasting, having been a force in the industry for nearly 70 years. In tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, Perry Groten introduces us to this radio pioneer and mentor whose voice, to many listeners, needs no introduction.
Dean Sorensen was fresh out of high school when he landed an announcer job with the radio station in Mitchell.
They were looking for their low man in the totem pole role, and so the day after high school graduation, I started in the radio business as a 4 to midnight.
That was back in 1957, and Sorensen quickly adapted to the intimate nature of radio.
I looked at the microphone as one person. When I was talking on the radio, I was talking to you. I wasn't talking to 50,000 people.
Sorensen's career switched to managing a radio station in Pierre at the tender age of 23. Then the ambitious announcer bought the station and created Sorensen Broadcasting. He'd go on to own 22 stations in South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, and Nebraska.
My standard line is that I wasn't very good at announcing, so I had to go in sales and I couldn't sell. So I had to go into management. I wasn't very good there, so I had to get in ownership to keep a job.
As a radio station owner, Sorensen said he made a priority of professional development among his employees.
I always had the attitude that there was a lot of gold out there and there was plenty for everybody. And so I wanted our people to really develop their own skills.
Sorensen's youthful enthusiasm wasn't limited to broadcasting. He was elected to the South Dakota House of Representatives in his mid-20s.
At that time, I was the youngest person ever elected to the South Dakota legislature from statehood through, that was 1966. Since then, they've changed the law and younger people are able to run and are doing so, and I'm proud of that too.
Sorensen has since sold all of his interests in radio stations, but those in the industry still seek him out to tap into his decades of experience.
He gets calls all the time on advice and what should I do for this and can you help me with that? And he's always willing to reach out, which I'm very, very happy for him and very proud of him.
After all of these years, Sorensen is still a big fan of radio, only these days he's more likely to listen over the internet rather than pick up a signal over the airwaves.
We're not just picking up the local radio in the kitchen anymore. We're listening on the internet like everything else in the world is done on the internet.
Sorensen says radio can always remain relevant in spite of so many other online options, as long as stations strive to offer local content to their audience. It's a business model that Sorensen has always followed, and it took him from behind the microphone all the way to the South Dakota Hall of Fame.
I couldn't expect that I was ever going to lead this life, but I'm sure glad I did.
With Eye on KELOLAND, I'm Perry Groten.
Hall of Fame activities will take place the weekend of September 13th and 14th in Chamberlain. You can see the entire Hall of Fame class of 2024 by going to this story on KELOLAND.com.